Yo, what's up, Cypherites? It's Bruce Cypher here, back at you again with another Fate Grand Order stream. Today we're going to look at the result for a Meihoso Most Fowl's movie ending. And I'm also going to be looking at the voting results for what links I should include on my channel page. Let me just pull up the survey summary. Hey, let me actually sign in. Oh, okay, I already was signed in. Alright, let me look at my... How do I view my survey details? So we go to library? Oh wait, there's a My Service button. No, I don't want to go to the library now that I know where the survey button is. We got 0 responses. I'll just include a link to my Fate Grand Order side blog. Anyway. The results came in for the Meihoso Most Foul event, and the ending that got the most votes was Jalters. Alright, let's check it out. This quest has no battles. I think I might have figured out who did this. Really? Are you sure? Then how'd they make sure that only Gabriella's glass would be poisoned? That's just it. We shouldn't have assumed that Gabriella's glass would be poisoned. Perhaps no matter which one she chose. Hello, viewer. There wasn't clear. Sorry. What I mean is that the wine contained in the wine were enough to trigger symptoms. Interesting. I never would have thought of that possibility. But if that is true, it would mean whoever's responsible for this would have to have been capable of poisoning Gabriella's food and drink every day. Exactly. And the only one who could do something like that is a servant. That's right. I'm looking at you. How did you know? You've been hanging around us this whole time, making sure to watch everything we do. There's no telling what kind of sneaky shit you could have gotten up to if you'd felt like it. It's me! Come on, Kaoru. Aren't you ready to wake up? You know, I spent a whole and how have you been? Still, I eventually figured that as long as you still remembered me, what I said wouldn't be important. But then it didn't even seem like you recognized me, and before I knew it, I was trashing you right to your face. I was sure that would at least get your attention, and I'd finally hear how you really felt. I never thought you'd collapse from being poisoned before I got the chance. But hey, I caught the guy who's been doing this to you. I don't care if you want to start back up where you left off, or if you never want to see me again. I just want to hear how you really feel, no matter how long it takes. Is that the end of it? Yep. That's the end. Crystallized lore get. And now let's see. 15 dailies. Daily what? They're obviously not talking about the dailies I've been talking about. it's been an amazing experience. Yeah, never figured we just as fun as fighting, though in a different sort of way.
There you are! Great news! Murasaki's awake now!
Really? Come on, Senpai, let's go see her! I'm so sorry for making you all worry about me.
It's okay. Accidents happen.
Sure, but next time you go taking medicine, read the damn instructions, will you? I don't give a shit how tired you are. You should know what it does.
That is important.
So, how's the production going right now? As a matter of fact, we managed to finish it ourselves while you were sleeping. Oh my, you actually finished it? We did. Our editor at Chaldea is working furiously on the footage as we speak.
You guys have an editor at Chaldea?
But we do have the rough cut here if you'd like to see it. Yes, I would love to. The sheet sucks. Oh my, I can't believe it.
That bad, huh?
Oh no, not at all. I can't possibly thank you all enough for finishing the film while I was indisposed. All I've done this whole time is make trouble for the rest of you.
Are you sure that's all you wish to say, Murasaki? If there's anything else, best you spit it out now.
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean, Lord Shakespeare.
Then permit me to elaborate in your stead, Miss Murasaki, since time is of the essence in this singularity. Your original for the idea for this movie was to make it a variation on the tale of Genji. Am I correct?
A variation? I'm afraid I only know a little bit about that story myself, but now that you mention it, I can see the similarities. It's embarrassing to explain this now, but you're exactly right, Lord Holmes. I based Miguel and Gabriella's relationship on the one between Genji and Murasaki. I wanted to try simulating what would happen if a young girl who was taken in by an older man and raised to be a lady of high society was suddenly set free to lead her own life. I also planned to include a large cast of varied characters, the former priest and his attendant, a doctor, an autistic genius, mysterious detectives, a faithful servant, and a mean-spirited singer, and have them all take part in a series of melodramas that revolved around Gabriella.
That would make Antonio Arawari no Nariha and Elias Shonagun. Say Shonagun, huh?
If there's something you want to say to me, playwright, how about you say it to my face? I'll even be nice and listen, seeing as how they're the last words you'll freaking speak.
And the Meihoso itself must be based on Bioden's Phoenix Hall. What's that hardly matters now?
Gabriella only for her to realize he's actually her brother Deizo, who lost his memory during the war, so they don't end up together.
So she threw in elements of General Kero and Ukifune too. I knew she was greedier than she looked. Hey, how about that? Guess my idea wasn't so far from yours after all.
I was actually originally planning to have Lord Iso play Salazar as well.
Yeah, you made the right call swapping him out for Bartholomew.
So who are you planning on having Gabriella end up with anyway? I at least gotta know that, or it's gonna bug the shit out of me. I'm so sorry to disappoint you, but Gabriella doesn't end up with anyone.
Huh?
Miguel and Gabriella only appeared to be married. In truth, Gabriella was Miguel's adopted daughter.
Oh, thank God.
Then why bother making their relationship so goddamn complicated? Because men approach an adoptive daughter differently than they do a widow.
I see. So he actually pretended to marry his adopted daughter out of concern for her well-being. It would take nerves of steel to try and woo the widow of the nation's founding president, after all.
So the rest of the story involved the different male characters approaching Gabriella, each with different motives. For her part, she keeps trying to ascertain how much these men genuinely care for her, but at one point, she realizes Miguel was the only one who loved her unconditionally.
Ah, so that's why you gave Hokusai those instructions while she was painting her portrait. If that's the sort of conclusion you had in mind, it makes perfect sense that you would want the portrait to make it seem like father and daughter instead of husband and wife.
That story sounds like what I made for a lovely movie. Maybe if we started now and really hurried, we could still film it?
Sorry, no can do, Mash. More than half of your set is going to fall apart in about 3 hours. We have a little more time until the singularity disappears, but that's still not enough to shoot that many scenes. Honestly, the only one who still needs to be there for now is Bruce. The rest of you can come back if you like. Da Vinci's editing the film as we speak. All that's left now is to play it once it's done and collect the magical energy. Ah, I see. So Da Vinci-chan is the editor.
Doctor? What if we just reshot the ending? Would that be okay? If there's a better ending to be had, I know I would like to see it. We all would. It's alright, Lady Mash. Please just forget about my plot.
Well, I wouldn't say that I'd forget about it, but I admit we don't have time to redo the whole movie so that it matches what Murasaki had planned.
I'm overjoyed to know that you all worked together to finish the film even without me. I truly am. Back when I was alive, I never would have had the chance to collaborate with so many people like this. Now I finally of such a labor for myself. But
Murasaki herself is saying she's fine with it. If you have any regrets, you can make up for them in another movie. We writers can't help but write after all. In that sense, Murasaki is an unstoppable juggernaut. I'm sorry. I know I just said most of you could come back now, but on a second thought, would you mind staying there a little longer? I want to take just a little more time getting the race shift ready. Don't worry, I won't be too long. There's a party hall on set, right? So why don't you hang out there and chat amongst yourselves?
Senpai, are we sure this is what we want to do?
Yeah, Mash.
I'm very happy with the ending we all chose to go with. I have no issue with that. But now that I know what sort of ending Murasaki had in mind all along, I can't help but feel dissatisfied. If it's at all possible, I'd really like to shoot an ending that Murasaki would be happy with. Though of course, that would also mean giving up on the version everyone works so hard to come up with. It feels like if we go with the ending Murasaki wants, it would invalidate everything we worked to accomplish. I don't want to think that all of our effort was wasted just because we didn't end the film correctly.
Yeah, honestly, Murasaki seemed fine with it. And besides, like I said earlier, I don't think we'd have time to film the ending as she wanted anyway. So I guess we've only got one option to go with.
I know this is a lot to ask since the film can have only one ending.
Bah, have you seen the Clue movie, Mash? I might have to show it to you sometime. I've never seen it myself, but I know it's infamous for having multiple endings.
But is there anything we can do that would make everyone happy?
Well now, this is a surprise. Is there something secret you wish to discuss with me, Doctor? There sure is, General Cortez. I suppose it would be best described as a get-rich-quick scheme? We've already collected the Singularity's magical energy, but I feel like we can do better. See, the movie's just about done, but that Singularity is obviously still there, so I figure there must be a little something left for us to acquire. This Singularity was born from a movie director's lingering regrets, so it only stands to reason that he wouldn't be truly satisfied with anything less than a Best Picture award, right? Hey, to be fair, you only hypothesized that the Singularity was created by the lingering director's spirit. We don't know that for sure. Indeed. I can't see your face well over the transmission, but you seem to be quite the villain yourself. So what exactly did you have in mind for me, Doctor? You were one of the models for that portrait, so I know you knew how this movie was supposed to go from the beginning. So I wanted to run this suggestion. This idea that I passed you. Would you be willing to hear me out? But I suppose me trying to give you an evil scheme is like trying to teach a fish to swim, isn't it? Ooh, I'm curious now. I suppose everything that's happened in the story thus far would be the mystery act. And much as I loathe to agree with anything that detective says, you can't have a mystery story without someone suspecting something is amiss. As such, I resolve to suspect. I need not hold it any longer. There is but one puzzle left to resolve in the story. How can we go about allaying magic concern? Have a story of one conclusion. There's no getting around. Kind of like at the same time, keep me satisfied. That's kind of nice. What if there was a way either? We may not be able to read any vital scenes, but that does not mean our hands are completely tied. Of course, you wouldn't have to wait long for the denouement to start and see what I mean, but you may just find it interesting to try coming up with the answer yourself. Is there going to be another voting bit? I tend to doubt that, but let's just wait and see. Alright, Section 16, The Return of the Murder at the Meihoso. No battles again? Pardon me, Master, but I have a proposal that may just put your concerns to rest.
Really? Yeah?
Yes, but was I won't say let us scenario. All you need to do is make me the lead actor. Say what? I'm sure Holmes will be none too pleased about this, so let me be perfectly clear up front. What I propose is not born from a desire to play the lead, nor am I proposing I immediately will need to resolve eating away at you. Oh! Naturally. Fat chance, asshole. We spent the whole movie building you up as an irredeemably evil prick. We don't have anywhere near the time we need for the reshoots to fix that. I disagree with that assertion, but fortunately it doesn't matter regardless. For you see, we already have all the footage we need. Really? Forgive me, that isn't quite right. What I should have said is, we already have almost all the footage we need. What are you talking about, Professor? I have no idea where you're going with this. While we may be missing a few of the performers now, I still recall shooting some video along these lines. Okay. What lines are they? Wait a minute, what is Nursery Rhyme doing there? So you see, by inserting footage we shot for the documentary into certain key scenes, we can dramatically change how Miguel is perceived. This is amazing. Your idea to use aspects from outside the movie is the same as mine, but this is on an entirely different scale.
Then does it mean everything we shot up until now is fair game?
Yes, I suppose it does. For example, when Murasaki Shikibu suddenly collapsed, you are all genuinely concerned for her well-being, no?
Yes, of course.
Then we can rework that footage into a scene that has you all concerned for Gabriella. So we'll be looking for usable bits and pieces of footage wherever we can find them, huh? It won't be easy, but if we can pull it off, it ought to be well worth it. I see. That's definitely a good idea. Alright, you have permission to shoot any additional scenes that you might need. But remember, once time is up, you all need to come back immediately. It isn't much, but try to do the best that you can with what time you have left.
Understood, Dr. Roman. We'll take advantage of every second we have. Right, Murasaki? This thread of spider silk has given me a ray of hope. If it's alright with you, I promise I won't let this chance go to waste. Okay, so if we're going to use Moriarty's idea, we'll need to have Gabriella become despondent with life, only to finally realize how much her adoptive father truly loved her. Right? Right! Got it. So Gabriella takes the poison because she feels like she has nothing left to live for, and everyone else goes nuts trying to help, huh?
Of course! I still end up losing my life in the process, but I suppose we have no choice but to make it fit somehow. You got it! Hey, we made this far flying by the seat of our pants. What's one more go before we pack it in? Though it may still differ from the original plot in certain ways, you should ensure the movie remains Miguel and Gabriella's story. Of course, since Gabriella has such little screen time, it will inevitably end up being more of Miguel's movie, but I hope you can overlook that on account of how devastatingly dapper I am. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. I see. So this was your goal all along. By unveiling your idea when all other options had been exhausted, you gained the lead role with the minimum of effort. Holmes, he's just trying to make MASH happy. Calm yourself. Good grief, you never change, do you, Professor? Must you insist on always painting me in the worst possible light? For your information, it was purely by chance that I realized my conduct thus far could be used in the movie. Besides, you know very well that I am not a man given to operating out in the open like this. Yeah, Holmes. Well, I suppose that it's not every day that a would-be artist gets a chance to help others so directly. Very well then, as I say in the entertainment business, break a leg. My thanks. I hope I can avoid breaking my back while I'm at it. Now then, shall we, Master?
We shall!
Alrighty. The middle and ending. No battles, of course. If we hadn't reached the 30-minute mark by the time I finished this quest, then I suppose we could do some dailies. I already got some done earlier today with Mephisto. But I'm sure you guys might want to change the pace from all the weird cutscenes and me going on and off doing the voices. So, this should at least be a change of pace in that regard. That is, of course, if we get to do the dailies. Ooh, I love music.
So how is she?
Her life's not in any danger, but I have no idea when she might wake up.
You the one who prepared our drinks?
I was not. While I did serve the drinks, I didn't have time to add anything to them, even had I wished to.
Wait, assuming I'm remembering correctly, I think I saw her taking what looked like some sort of medicine before she entered the ballroom.
Oh? So you say the host of the party poisoned herself of her own accord? Why would you do such a thing? That's weird. She's been running the whole show up until now. I don't think she's going to ruin it herself.
I don't know what she took or why, but if nothing else, I think this was Salazar.
Great, my foot fell asleep.
Maybe she
If you are correct, then there's nothing to do. Try it and wakes up. Well, what if we dealt with whatever is causing her despair? Of course, we need to discover what that is first. In order to do that, we would need to find out exactly why she lost hope and why she wanted to end it all. I think I might know. Oh?
Her whole life was bought and sold when she was just a little girl. Even if she does get to inherit the old legacy now, there's still a whole
Then it's settled. I'll search the mansion and see if I can find any clues.
I would be happy to check the storehouse myself.
No, we should go together, just to be safe. No one should go anywhere alone. I see. All right, if you insist. Don't misunderstand. This isn't because I suspect you. It's simply better for us to have a witness present.
True. If we go together and anything happens to one of us, the other will come under suspicion. I apologize for my rudeness. All right, let's be on our way.
Be careful out there, you two. There's no telling what you might run into. I guess this means it doesn't get the cool meta turnaround where I'm the villain. That's kind of upsetting, but at least Mash and Murasaki are both satisfied.
That? Then it wasn't just me.
I know all too well how you feel. Let's lock this room and I'll check on them ourselves. How are they gonna justify this? Vargas, this can't be happening. They're both dead. It looks like they killed each other. It looks like you're right. He probably went to kill one straight somewhere. But he obviously Vargas has enough strength to strike back. Nobody could have taken Vargas. Not even 3 against 1. Salazar, after the explosion, he wouldn't have talked to heard. Salazar must have already known he couldn't talk his way out of it. We could have interrogated them and gotten to the bottom of this a lot faster if just one of them had survived. So the explanation that you're going with is no explanation? We can't get one because Salazar is dead? Can't say I'm a fan of that. What's wrong, detective? You haven't said a word.
Mr. Pogioli is also known as Isidoro the Sleeper because he always gets very quiet whenever he's considering evidence.
It's true. Even as I speak, my mom was out with all the abilities. Didn't you say you were known as Isidoro the Reaper before? Hypnos and Thanatos are said to be brothers. Thus, my Sleeper and Reaper personas are 2 sides of the same coin. Whatever. Just stop bragging and tell us what you figured out already. I can't. Not when the culprit is listening. Oh? Then you're saying one of us is the culprit? I will leave that to your imagination. For now, all I can say is this. There is no case so inscrutable cannot solve it. I'm sure that in one hand. Ooh, are we still gonna do the thing where the camera turns around and I'm the bad guy? I like it! Where is everyone? It's been over 2 hours since they left. Either they ran into some sort of trouble, or they found something promising. All we can do is hope it's the latter. Still, given that they're working together, they should be okay as long as nothing too dire befalls them. Salazar worked for Miguel, right, Uncle? But now that Miguel is dead, what kind of hold could he still have on Salazar that would make him willing to risk his life? True, if Miguel was controlling Salazar with fear, there would no longer be further need for Salazar to be afraid. And it's not like he had any family for Miguel to threaten, since he didn't even know who he was. Do you think you could risk your life for someone who's already dead, Elise? No way! I can't even imagine risking my life for someone who's still alive! Indeed, that is how most people seem to feel. I am certainly no exception. Perhaps Salazar's willingness to do so is proof of a more genuine loyalty? Master, I can't tell you how grateful I am to you for giving me a new role to play when I had nothing to look forward to but disappearing. I'm so sorry my leaving you like this only make things harder for you. Forgive me for leaving in the middle of all this. Ooh, nice recontextualization! It flies in the face of the theory we've been working under thus far, but perhaps Miguel was actually a kind and virtuous man, the kind who inspired loyalty out of love, not fear. Of course, now that Salazar is gone, we have no way of knowing for sure. About time you guys got back. Wait, where's Garcia?
Garcia ran off on his own. He was going on about something he had to go check. We have no idea right now.
Every other survivor seems I think that'll be fun. What's more, we learned a few very interesting things. First off, we found documentation that shows Gabriella is Daizo's younger sister. You don't say. Of course, I expected that was the case, so on its own, that wasn't any great surprise. But was actually like everyone else's. Would that be surprising? The hell are you talking about?
We found a report of the state of Dainata prior to the revolution.
It painted a bleak picture of the Dainata's future prospects. which is to say, it had none at all.
What? That can't be right.
There is no question that the first president only aided the revolution because he knew the cost of failing to do so would be the nation itself.
Then what? You're saying Miguel's coup turned out to be the right move in the end?
Sure looks that way. So now I have to re-examine everything I thought to be true, and determine if Miguel Angel Cortez really was the evil man I thought him to be.
Well, General Tan, peacefully, at our age, surely we're sure we're needless English.
I have no intention of refusing your the situation. So I thought you could at least serve as a scarecrow of sorts and draw the rebels' attention away. Then, while your forces and theirs stared each other down, my soldiers behind. A clever plan, General Tan. Just as I would expect from you. That sort of clever thinking is exactly why I had to stay one step ahead of you. Well, you succeeded. I never dreamed you would come to kill me in my sleep. Now my army is destroyed thanks to your ambush. How do I get this stinking water bottle open? There we go. I had to pull it open with my teeth, but it's open. I wouldn't recommend you guys doing that, though. Okay, back to the story. But what will you do now? I can't imagine you think you'll hold back the rebel army with your forces alone. That's your problem right there, General Tan. You're too earnest for your own good. As a matter of fact, I've already reached an understanding with the rebels. Once they've conquered the palace, I'm to be the new government's representative. They have no more desire for senseless bloodshed than I do, after all. You contemptible wench! You contemptible wretch! Even I couldn't have imagined you would be so self-serving.
Please don't think too poorly of me, General Tan. If anyone here is a blame, I would say that it's you.
So that is all there is for me to do here. Everything ended so abruptly. And here I thought you would give up on this before I did. It seems I'm less patient than I thought. I'm happy to help in any manner my lord wishes, no matter how difficult that task may be. I see. I almost envy you. Just a sec, I smudged my glasses. General Tan was loyal to a fault. If he truly wanted what was best for Nadai Nadha, he should have been the one to initiate the coup. So what? You're saying that Geezer only betrayed the royal family because Nadai Nadha was on the brink? The royal family at the time was indeed rotten at the core. I can attest to that myself. Even if Miguel hadn't betrayed them, they would certainly have fallen to ruin if left to their own devices. I'm not trying to carry water for him, but the Revolutionary Army was really an army in name only. If General Tan had succeeded in flanking them that night, we would have lost for sure. After that, I have no doubt the ones who survived would have turned to guerrilla warfare, and that would have led to the country getting bogged down in interminable civil war, which would only have impoverished Nadai Nadha even further. If that had happened, I'd probably never have been able to become a singer. It's difficult to believe, but the logic is sound. So if Miguel foresaw all this when he took over the nation, that would make him a hero, would it not? If that was the only way he could do something good for the world. I also came across something of personal interest to me. What is it? The record of Daizo's death. He died that night, just as I'd always suspected. He and General Tan ended up killing each other. Sort of. What's that supposed to mean? According to the report, what happened was... Besides, you're It seems we have an overexcited puppy here who still needs to be housebroken. Bring it on, old man. I was just thinking I could use a decent workout. Ah! Well done. I must say, for a moment there, I wasn't at all sure how things would play out. Oh my, you're bleeding. I'm so sorry we forced this thankless role upon you. No need for apologies. We cannot say first your crew's role is thankless until all is said and done. Now then, my time here is over. I wish you well with what is yet to come in this endeavor. Damn! I can't excuse what General Tan did, but I can understand why he did it. Daiso would never have been able to adjust to this new, more peaceful world. I think General Tan felt the responsibility to make sure Daiso would never cause any further trouble. As for Miguel, he knew Daiso would be leaving behind a little sister.
Now where was it I first met him again? Ah yes, it was the town library. I was waiting there to meet my brother. I'll wait here until he comes back.
I'm sorry, my girl, but you'll be wasting your time. You'll feel better if you resign yourself to never seeing him again.
Really? Then what should I do?
Well, I would hate to see a child cry. All right, I tell you what. I'll give you anything else your heart desires instead.
That's right. He was always so kind, right from the beginning. He didn't breathe a word about my brother's death. He just bought me all sorts of things to try and cheer me up since I was all alone.
He felt responsible for Daiso's death as well. That's why he took Gabriella in. Of course, to those of us looking in from the outside, it just seemed like he did that to satisfy his own desires. If nothing else, he was a master of hiding how he really felt. Well, I don't like it. From where I sit, she just up and disappeared on me out of nowhere.
But at least I know she was treated well now. That's a huge relief.
Hey, check this out! A letter? Where did you get this? Crap, I think I mixed up some of the voices. I've been doing my best to figure out why Salazar attacked Vargas like that, and I think it's probably because there was something important in there. Vargas just happened to go near it, and Salazar must have thought he was trying to steal it. So if that's what happened, I where they fought. And I did. There was a small safe hidden around there. It was easy enough to break the lock. So that's where this letter came from. Does this mean Salazar threw his life away for nothing? Thing is, the letter's from Miguel Angel Cortez, and it's addressed to Gabriella.
Then, does that mean it holds Gabriella's secrets?
Gabriella should be the one to read this, but since she's currently indisposed, and this is an emergency. My beloved daughter Gabriella, by the time you read this, I'm ready to when the time is right. Perhaps you'll read it perhaps you'll read this 3 years from now, 10 years from now, or maybe you never will. But that's all right. Writing this letter is something of a selfish exercise in truth. More than anything in the world, I loathe hypocrisy. Playing up one's own goodness despite having accomplished nothing of value. That is the very height of self-indulgence. In that sense, my good turned. Some good cannot be been one are so numerous that I can no longer keep track, and it would come as no great shock were I to be assassinated sooner or later. Even the police are constantly looking for an excuse to throw me in jail. Of course, I'm delighted to see them so eager for justice, even if I am the one who ensured this country would drive them to do so at my expense. And above all, I'm concerned that the dirtier my hands are, the harder it becomes to hear my conscience. I've never told anyone else this before, but in truth I am a much more innocent man than I pretend. That's why I'm going to end my own life before I can become a genuine monster. Salazar will be able to handle the rest, and if any further problems should arise, the closers should take care of them. Now, here is the important part. A few days after my funeral, evidence of wrongdoing committed by certain high-ranking government officials should be delivered around the country. Far too much for them to cover it all up. No doubt these revelations will create something of a crisis, but things should settle down soon enough. Until they do, I would like you to lay low in the Meihoso. Finally, I need to tell you about my legacy. Given that I used it primarily to level the forthcoming charges on my opponents, most of it will cease to be useful for blackmail after I'm gone. However, some of it will still retain its usefulness. As such, I hope you will think of something you'd like to use my legacy for yourself. In the meantime, I've invited a number of good people to stay by your side. If you happen to find love with one of them, wonderful. And if you find friendship with them, that would be wonderful too. Whatever happens, I am filled with hope and love for you and your future. Well, that was pretty sweet. Your loving father, Miguel Angel Cortez. Now I see. So you two were the closers. Now that I've been presented with incontrovertible evidence, it seems I have no choice but to come clean. Indeed, our job was not to uncover the truth, but to see that trouble was handled quickly and quietly.
We do still need to figure out a good way to explain Vargas and Salazar's deaths. But since Gabriella survived, that shouldn't be too hard.
Perhaps we'll call this case a Meihoso Most Foul. Ooh, title drop.
That's much easier than the job we were hired for.
Adriana, what did I say about Silent B. Golden? God, can you believe these idiots? For no
So come on, wake up already. Please.
Gabriella? This might be a lot, but the truth is,
Thank you for
you could have just called me that from the start and saved us both a lot of time. As usual, you're a far cry from being a proper lady, Elise. Right now, I'm glad for that foul mouth of yours. Well, you're free to do whatever you like now, Gabriella. Have you decided what you're going to do now that the world is your oyster?
I'm sad to hear that Vargas and Salazar had a fatal misunderstanding. But I look forward to getting to know all of you better, as the friends my father so kindly chose.
That sounds like a great plan to me. I think Daizo would have been happy to hear that too. I'm sorry to be a downer, but have you all forgotten what the letter said? The scandal time bomb President Cortez planted is bound to go off soon. There is every possibility that some disgruntled dissidents could try to attack the Meihoso when all of this goes public. So I think I'll stay here a little longer. Make potential. Well, it's my hand to talk to that. I'd stay here a little longer. I'm staying too. There's no telling who might come after someone as famous as me if I just gamboled around without a care in the world. Right, Uncle? I quite agree. I was just thinking I could use a change of environment for writing my next song. And I think I'll stick around a little longer too. Aren't you married? Shouldn't you get back home soon? My wife's much stronger than I am. She'll be fine on her own for a while.
I thought I was all alone. But I see now that all these people really do care about me. What's more, I finally realized that he always had my best interests in mind. Thank you, Father.
I was worried what might happen to this country after all those government officials were arrested for corruption. But luckily it ended up just clearing the air. Thanks to that, it's a lot easier to do business now. My family used to have to pay through the nose just to keep those guys off our backs. I'm glad they're in prison now. Things looked pretty dicey back when the royal family was disposed too, but Not I Nadha's made of tough stuff. Whoa, you're really good, pal. Play us a song, will ya? Forget it. Compliments in a dive like this don't mean jack shit. What was that? Easy, man. Calm down. What are you talking about, pal? There's a salon in a huge mansion called the Meihoso somewhere in the country that's run by a beautiful proprietress. They say if you can prove yourself there, they'll invest in your career. And if you do really good, Joba might even give you one of his songs. So it's my dream to become a good enough musician to be invited to the Meihoso someday. Just forget about it. There's no way that place really exists. You're better off working a real job like us. Bartender, another round. Well now, that sounds fascinating. If only more people agreed with you, bartender. Tell me all about it and the next round's on me. Oh, you got a deal, pal. Alright, so the Meihoso is home to a beautiful proprietress, a singer, and... Nice. That was a cool little, I wouldn't really call it a post-credit scene, because of course we're getting the title, the end card right now. But, whatever it was, that was pretty cool. Alright, I believe that's a wrap. And with just a few minutes to go before the singularity disappears. Tell me, Doctor, what did you think of a Meihoso Most Foul? Are you satisfied with the final cut? Absolutely. This was the best thing I've watched in a good while. There might be a few plot holes here and there, but otherwise, I'd never have believed you guys improvised the whole thing. Thanks for the great movie, General Cortez. All that's left now is to end this call. Then our deal will be over, and Bruce can take over to finish the job. Oh? What about Mash and Murasaki? Don't you need to see if they're satisfied with the results as well? And don't you need to see if the rest of the cast are happy with their performances? I believe that was part of the reward you had in mind, no? I don't need to ask him about that. It was perfectly clear even from this side of the camera. That said, there is one thing still nagging at me. You know what I'm talking about, right, General Cortez? I do know the other servants, but I don't think I know anything at all about you. I can't help but think that it's a little odd and even unfair. Unfair? Don't be ridiculous. After all, I know nothing about you either. We don't even know each other's names. But so what? That little conundrum may be quite inconsequential, but it's also quite wonderful. Besides, where other than the world of cinema can chance encounters like this occur? For a brief hour or two, characters who will usually never share the same space get to play off one another. Movies are nothing if not entertainment, so they are the perfect place for these sorts of fantastical crossovers. Yeah. That's a very... Alright, Grail time? Grail time? Grail time! Wonder what happens if I tap on it again. Filming has finished for Drifting Motion Picture Realm Hollywood. That's a wrap! That's kind of funny. Alright. So that was a Meihoso Most Foul. Hope you all enjoyed watching me stream it. Hope you have a fantastic day, week, month, your life. I'll talk to you in the next stream. See you later, Cypherites.